Hello, everyone. Very good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining us on this webinar on this, over the weekend on a Saturday. I know Saturdays are typically family time, but आप सबने आज time लिया हमारे इस call पे join करने के लिए. So we like to thank you so much for this. So we'd like to welcome all the participants who have joined us through the Zoom link. And we also see a lot of people have already started viewing our stream on YouTube live as well. So we'd like to welcome all our participants who are live on YouTube as well as the Zoom channel. Thank you very much once again. So first of all, before going into the presentation, I'd like to give you all a little background about who we are. While आप में से काफी लोग already हमारे साथ काफी सालों से invest कर रहे हो, but I thought it's also important to sort of reflect back on some numbers and who we are and the pedigree that we come with. As Asit Mehta, we are a 40-year-old financial services enterprise, and last 40 saal se we've been extremely professional in terms of investment advisory or financial product distribution, and our strongest legacy has been on the stockbroking business. And we have always been cautious that safety comes first when we talk about managing investors' wealth. Most of our business or most of our advisory talks about long-term equity investing, and the legacy of the group starts with our chairman, Mr. Asit Mehta, who's one of the known and well-known and very prolific financial services professionals in India, who's our chairman, and Mrs. Deena Mehta, who's our managing director. And Mrs. Deena Mehta has been the ex and first woman president of the BSE, and she's been instrumental in terms of the digitization of the stock exchanges in India. So when we talk about equity investing, making decisions at the right time, investing in the right kind of companies, and making sure that you participate in the market at all times becomes the most critical part. Investments may emotion-driven decision making becomes one of the most strongest deterrent to wealth creation. Emotion-based पे investment decisions जब होता है, वो अक्सर गलत decision ही होता है. And we always see that we end up participating into the market at the wrong time, and we always are found on the wrong side of the market. So it's very important that we build a style of investing that is all weather, and it helps us make decisions in a non-emotional manner. So investment ki dunya ko, if you look at it, how it is laid out, it is broadly, divided into three parts. One is the most traditional and oldest style of investing, जिसको हम active fund management कहते हैं, जहाँ पे there's a fund manager or portfolio manager who's sitting and making decisions on a daily basis, okay, what stock to buy, what stock to sell, when to buy, when to sell, so on and so forth. Then on the extreme right, we have the new age style of investing, which is quantitative techniques, rule-based investing, or process-oriented investing, which is on the extreme side. So the active management talks about more fundamental style of investing. The rule-based or quantitative style talks about quantitative style of investing. So in दोनों के बीच में, at Asit Mehta Investment Intermediates, we've created a new style of investing through our group companies and our internal investment team, which is called the Scientific Investment Framework. So the Scientific Investment Framework brings to you the best of both worlds, जहाँ पे we have picked up the best aspects from the fundamental style of investing and the merits of quantitative style of investing, and we call it, for want of a better word, it's called quantamental style of investing, or that is what we call a scientific investment framework as well. So ये scientific investment framework क्या होता है, what is it, and why is it important to implement in our investment style, and why have we chosen this style of investing, and what is the process? So let's try and understand a little about this. So scientific investment framework के बारे में अगर हम बात करें, okay, it broadly is divided into two parts. The first is enhancing safety, and the second is enhancing growth. So like I said, with the 15-20 years of investment or fund management legacy that we have, okay, along with the 40 years of legacy in financial services, we have seen that safety becomes the foremost important thing. So safety हम कैसे ensure करते हैं from a fund management perspective is what we are going to see through this slide here. So we look at the starting universe of stocks, which is our broad market universe, which is all the companies which are in the greater than 1,000 crore kind of market cap. So companies जो 1,000 crore के ऊपर के market cap में होती है, we take those kind of companies, and उसमें से we eliminate three kind of companies. What are the three kind of companies we eliminate? The first kind of companies are called capital destroyers. So when we talk about capital destroyers, जैसे name ही suggest कर रहा है, ये ऐसी companies होती है जिसमें if you put money, it is definitely going to cause destruction of your capital, because these are companies which have weak operations. These are companies which have weak balance sheets. These are companies which are generating consistent losses, and also they have consistently negative cash flows. And last but not the least, these are companies with very, very high debt to equity ratio. So in जैसे companies में जब पैसे डालते हैं, it is guaranteed that it is going to destroy capital for you as an investor. The second kind of companies that we eliminate are called capital eroders. So capital eroders are companies which are not going to destroy capital immediately on day zero or immediately as soon as the investments are done. But these are companies which are very slowly going to keep eroding your capital, going to keep eating into your capital, because in these kind of companies, the return on equity of these companies is higher than the cost of capital. So the rate at which these companies are borrowing or bringing in money into the company is higher than the returns that their business or returns that their equity is generating over their on their business. The second thing is that these are companies which have very high competition, okay, and they don't have a strong moat. They don't have a very strong competitive advantage. तीसरा है, these are companies with very, very strong corporate governance issues, okay. Promoter level issues हो सकता है, management level issues हो सकता है, or the way they are managing their own business could be an issue. So these are companies where there are corporate governance issues. Fourth is they have reducing purchase power. उनके बिजनेस में मोट या उनके बिजनेस में कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज नहीं होने के वजह से देयर कुड बी कॉम्पिटिशन हु कुड कम एंड मैन्युफैक्चर और ऑफर सर्विसेज एट अ कॉस्ट लोअर देन these kind of companies. Hence they keep losing out on the business to competition. The third kind of companies that we eliminate are called capital imploders. So capital imploders are kind of companies which is very, very good. Everything about the company is fantastic. But the point is that everything about these companies have already been factored in. Everything about these companies is already priced in. These are companies which are very well recognized by the market. So there's nothing new about these companies. These are companies available at very, very high premium. These are companies where the assumptions of the market or assumptions of the business are over optimistic. And the last but not the least is that the expected rate of return of these companies could be equivalent to the discount rate. So if you invest in these companies, you are always investing at a premium, because of which your probability of generating wealth or probability of generating returns over and above the price that you bought these companies at is going to be very, very low. By eliminating these three kind of companies, we are left with what we call as a safe investment universe, or what we also call as the capital multiplier universe. So basically, capital multiplier universe are the kind of companies which have a very, very strong balance sheet that you see here. These are companies which have very, very strong balance sheets. These are companies where the return on equity is higher than the cost of capital. So obviously these companies are generating returns which are very high when compared to the overall cost at which they are borrowing capital, or the capital at which it is available, the price at which the capital is available to them. Third is these are companies with very strong competitive advantage. So obviously they've created entry barriers. They've created a competitive advantage for themselves, जिसके वजह से competitors बहुत easily इनका business में market share eat नहीं कर सकता है. Last but not the least, this again becomes very, very important. The current market price of these companies is lower than the intrinsic value of the company. Intrinsic value is nothing but what is supposed to be the fair price of this particular stock. So the price at which the stock is available in the market is lower than the fair price. So obviously when you're buying a company at a discount, when you're buying a company at a value which is lower than what it is supposed to be, then obviously you are getting a good price advantage, and you already have a good value creation or a value unlocking opportunity which is going to be available there for you. So after eliminating these three kind of companies, we are left with what we call as our capital multiplier universe. So is capital multiplier universe, say we are going to do the next step of what we call as enhancing growth. Enhancing growth doesn't immediately mean generating returns immediately in a short period of time. Always one thing that we need to remember is equity is an asset class which is definitely going to give you wealth creation over long term. But the reality is wealth creation is not going to be a linear process. Growth is not going to be a linear process. मार्केट के उतार चढ़ाव के हिसाब से कभी-कभी अपने पोर्टफोलियोज में अप्स एंड डाउन्स हो सकती है. सो यू नीड टू लुक एट दीज इन्वेस्टमेंट्स ओवर अ 4 to 5 year period or 5 to 7 year period to create good amount of wealth over a long term. So अपना जो कैपिटल मल्टीप्लायर यूनिवर्स बच गया था फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस स्टेप, वी लुक एट these kind of companies which are in Mr. Market's blind spot. So companies which are not very recognized, companies which are below the radar, companies which are in Mr. Market's blind spot, where everybody is not going after them. Those are the kind of companies we recognize, and those are the kind of growth vectors which we look at before creating what we call as our supernormal portfolio. So we typically look at the companies which are below the radar, companies which are available at a discount to their intrinsic value, and companies which are not very recognized in the market. So that is the kind of companies we pick up from our capital multipliers. And then on the basis of that, we create our supernormal portfolio. Then we buy these companies into your portfolio. We hold these companies in the portfolio or in the baskets, and we hold it till the time these companies come into a bubble or Mr. Market's mirage. So when these companies start becoming more visible, when these companies start becoming more, sought after by the market, that is when the value unlocking of these companies happen. That is when these companies start trading at a very high premium. So at that stage, we eliminate these companies and come back to our capital multiplier universe. And again, we look at companies which are available at a discount and then create a supernormal portfolio, hold them till these companies create wealth or value unlocking happens. And then this is an ongoing process, and this is something, and this is the way in which our growth vectors have been created, and this is the way in which our baskets are created. So this is in short a quick summary of how our investment management, how our investment style works, right? So iske basis pe, what are the growth vectors we have identified, what are the growth opportunities that we've identified is something which I'm going to take you through in the next few slides. So I already see a couple of people raising hands for questions, and a couple of people who are already entering questions in the chat box. So there are going to be 6-7 more slides jo main present karne wala hu. So please put in all your questions in the chat box or in the Q&A section, or you can also keep your hand raised, and once my presentation is over, we will bring you on to ask your questions. Okay. So now going into the growth vectors. So we've identified about 6 different growth vectors which are going to create fantastic wealth creation opportunity for us in India, not only over the next 5 years, but over the next 5, 10, 15, 25 years to come. First such growth opportunity or growth vector that we are looking at is called ACE digital transformation. So when we talk about digital, what most people think is it's only about IT. So when we talk about digital transformation, it is not just IT. हमको ये देखना चाहिए कि IT और digital के ecosystem में what are the kind of opportunities that are available. हमने ये देखा है कि our research shows that this is practically a $100 trillion opportunity. Why am I quoting these numbers in dollars? क्योंकि इन companies के revenues में जो है, there is a dollar diversification or dollar revenue oriented diversification which is available, because of which the rupee depreciation internationally gets balanced out. So ये digital transformation opportunity में what are the opportunities that are available to us? The first of which is called artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence जैसे हम सब जानते हैं, अगर अपने business में if we have to create growth, then data and data mining becomes very, very important. So artificial intelligence is a $15 trillion opportunity, and that is where we are going to see significant growth over a long period of time to come. The second opportunity that we're talking about is cloud computing. So cloud computing is nothing but, today if you see, pehle zamane mein, okay, we used to hold memory cards, we used to hold hard disks, we used to hold pen drives and all of these things. But aaj ke zamane mein, we just go ahead and buy some space on Google Drive, we just go and buy some space on Apple iCloud and so on and so forth, right? So that is where this world is heading. We are heading towards cloud computing, even in the retail space, and obviously in the enterprise space, this is way, way bigger than what we actually think. The third thing that we talk about is blockchain, which is a $2 trillion opportunity. The fourth thing that we talk about is Internet of Things. Internet of Things is nothing but what we use on a day-to-day basis. You talk about Amazon, you talk about Flipkart, you talk about Uber, Ola, all these apps that are available is all what we talk about Internet of Things. Now, all of these 4 opportunities are not going to be usable, are not going to be deliverable to the end user unless there is connectivity, which is going to be 5G, which is a $13 trillion opportunity. So this $13 trillion opportunity of 5G is what is going to be the enabler of all the other four opportunities that we spoke about. And that is why we believe that digital transformation is going to be a very, very important aspect or a very, very important growth vector for many, many years to come. The second opportunity or second growth vector that we're talking about is railway infrastructure. Okay, so railway infrastructure ki agar hum baat kare, it is a total addressable market of about 14 lakh crores. 14 lakh crore ka opportunity hai, 14 lakh crore ka investment opportunity idhar available hai. And we also see that the rail freight is going to increase by 3 times over the next 10 years to come. इसमें opportunities कहाँ होने वाली है? There are about 8 high-speed bullet trains that are in commission or being commissioned. There are about 6 semi-high-speed trains which are being commissioned or which is in the pipeline. Modernization of existing railway infrastructure, right? जो अपने existing railway stations है, अपने existing trains hai, which is slow, fast, or whatever category we talk about. Modernization of existing railway infrastructure is also happening in a big way. And 30 se bhi zyada, more than 30 metro projects are in the pipeline. And we always see that existing metro projects may be expansion ki opportunities kafi ho rahi hai. So we really see that railway infrastructure is going to be a big thing over the next many years to come. So railway infrastructure is our second growth vector. The third growth vector we are talking about is Bharat Defense or defending India, right? So defense budget in India is the third largest at about $73 billion, which is a mind-boggling amount of money considering the population that we have and considering the kind of strength we have on a global strata. So $73 billion का जो खर्चा होने वाला है इंडिया के अंदर, the biggest advantage is that Indian government and the Indian manufacturing ecosystem has ensured that India में we don't need to import a lot of defense infrastructure. We have created domestic manufacturing capabilities in terms of submarine and torpedoes, in terms of fighter jets and missiles, in terms of warships, in terms of radar and missile defense technologies, and in terms of aircraft carriers. So because of these 5 manufacturing and other capabilities जो हमने इंडिया के अंदर build किया है, we have ensured that majority of the $73 billion जो खर्चा हो रही है defense ecosystem में, most of that is going to be spent within India, which is going to give growth within India. इसके अलावा, we are also seeing that the defense exports is growing at almost 28% CAGR. So not only make in India, we are also exporting from India to the world, right? So that is why defense or defending India becomes another very, very important growth vector. The fourth growth vector that we talk about is electrifying India or electrification or ACE power. So electrification की अगर हम बात करें, we are always जब electricity या power के sector के बारे में बात करें, people only talk about power generation companies. That is why we say we are not talking about sectors, we are talking about vectors. So vectors की जब हम बात करते हैं, we are talking about the entire opportunity or entire ecosystem around the power as an opportunity, right? So not only companies which are going to be into generation and transmission of electricity, इनको definitely फायदा होने वाला है. Alternative power like solar or hydro, this is also going to be a very, very big opportunity. Trading and exchange of electricity units, okay, that is also going to be a fantastic opportunity, and companies which are dealing into this are going to benefit a lot out of it. Resource and equipment manufacturers, switch banane wale, wired banane wale, companies which are into manufacturing of transformers, etc., etc. All these companies are also going to strongly benefit out of it. The next thing is clean energy. Okay, so while we talk about different kinds of energy, environmental conservation and clean energy also becomes a very big opportunity, right? So all of this is very important क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं कि Indian consumption of electricity units is going to reach 4 trillion units by the year 2030. 4 trillion units का electricity consume होने वाला है by the year 2030, which is at a growing rate of about 13% on a year-on-year basis. And इसके लिए almost 24 lakh crores का total addressable market या investment opportunity is available in India. That is why electrification or ACE power becomes a very, very important growth vector as well. The next growth vector I'd like to talk about is future of mobility or electric vehicles, right? Electric vehicles की तो बात चली रही है, where we talk about the government's pet project, which is 30 at 30, where it is estimated that by the year 2030, 30% of vehicles in India are going to be electric. So now the government is even thinking ahead. Okay, the Indian ecosystem is also thinking further ahead, where we're talking about alternate fuels like hydrogen, we're talking about ethanol, so on and so forth. So that is definitely there in the pipeline, but electric vehicles as an opportunity is going to be very, very big, because this is going to consume about 14 lakh crore of investments by the year 2030, which is very, very critical. अब ये 14 लाख करोड़ का इन्वेस्टमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी या इन्वेस्टमेंट्स जो कंज्यूम होने वाली है, what are the areas where this is going to get consumed? So the companies that are going to benefit out of this are companies which are into two-wheeler and three-wheeler, passenger and electric vehicle manufacturers, companies which are into rare earth metals, because this is used as critical components in each of these vehicles, or components that are going to be used for the growth of this sector. तीसरा है power storage technology. So the capability to hold power, the capability to be able to retain power in these vehicles is going to be very critical. So power storage technology is going to be a big opportunity. Battery technology. How do we ensure that the battery sizes are efficient? How do we ensure that it is available for all kind of vehicles or all kind of components that are being made? Is battery technology is going to be a very important component. But ye sab bana kar bhi, after all of this is available, if there is no charging infrastructure, if there is no place where you can go and charge your car, or where you can go and charge your two-wheeler, or if you can go and charge the other kind of vehicles that are going to be available on the market, then the whole purpose of building so much of infrastructure is not going to be beneficial. So charging infrastructure is going to be a big opportunity. And like I said, the total opportunity size under the electric vehicle component, or electric vehicle as a growth vector, is about 14 lakh crores. Now, the 5 growth vectors that we spoke about, digital, power, railway, mobility, and all of this, okay, all of this is not going to be possible unless there is capital. So capital enablers or capitalizing India is going to be a fantastic and most important opportunity for all other growth vectors or all other growth opportunities to be successful. So we observe that there is a 200 lakh crore se bhi zyada investment or financing opportunities available in India. So when we talk about 200 plus lakh crore financing opportunity, the companies which are going to benefit out of this are companies which are into business lending, companies which are obviously rating agencies. So if these companies need to be funded, the role of the rating agencies becomes very, very important. Housing finance companies and NBFCs, this becomes a very important opportunity. Stock exchanges, obviously when there is investment opportunity, then exchanges come into play. And obviously infrastructure loans or companies providing infrastructure loans also become very, very prominent in this scheme of things. So 200 plus lakh crore infrastructure, financing opportunity, and capital providers and enablers for infrastructure development is going to be a mind-boggling opportunity. So these 6 growth vectors are what we are going to use as a part of our iBasket opportunity, or iBasket product that is going to be made available to you. And these are products that are already available on our platform on investmentz.com. So we've divided our iBaskets into 3 categories. The first category is core iBaskets. Core iBaskets mein we have 3 different baskets. The first of which is called large cap. The second is mid cap. The third is small cap. So these are basically cap weighted investment opportunities. Cap weighted investment opportunities mein kya hai? Large cap mein obviously these are companies which are selected out of the top 100 in India. Mid cap mein these are companies which are selected out of the 101 to 250, the next 150 companies. The third basket, which is small cap, is companies which are 250 and above in terms of market capitalization. For you to invest in these baskets, the minimum investment ticket size is only 15,000 rupees. Keval 15,000 rupees mein you can get exposure to these kind of baskets and make sure that you participate in these broad market opportunities, either in the form of SIP or in the form of lump sum. The second category of baskets that we have are called thematic baskets. So thematic baskets mein the first basket that we have is defense. We spoke about defense as an opportunity, right? So defense basket mein the minimum investment ticket size is only 10,000 rupees, where we create a portfolio of anywhere between 12 to 13 companies, which is available to you on our platform already. The second opportunity that we're talking about is bullet train iBasket, where bullet train iBasket can be bought again at a minimum of just 10,000 rupees. The third basket that we talk about is super dividend. Super dividend is nothing but a basket of 8 to 12 companies which generate superior dividends for investors over a long term. The fourth thematic basket that we talk about is ACE Power, okay, which is just at a minimum of 5,000 rupees, which focuses on electrification opportunities. So ACE Power basket is available just at 5,000 rupees. The fifth basket that we spoke about, that we are going to speak about in our thematic, is digital transformation. Digital transformation again captures all the digital opportunities that are available in India, and the minimum here is just 15,000 rupees. The last opportunity that's available, or the last basket that's available here in the thematic category, is our capital enablers, which is capturing the financing opportunity in India, where the minimum investment requirement is just 15,000 rupees, whether it is lump sum or it is SIP. The sixth iBasket that we have very recently introduced is the electric vehicles basket. Electric vehicles, because it captures a much broader opportunity, that is a basket which is available at 1 lakh rupees. So each of our baskets that we are talking about here is 100% equity in nature. And to create a balance into your portfolio, we've also created debt and ETF iBaskets, where our ETF iBasket, which is called BharatX, is just at a minimum of 5,000 rupees, which gives you an exposure to the top 500 stocks in India in the form of ETFs. And this gives you a very, very broad market exposure to participate across the spectrum of the market. Apart from the ETF basket, we also have ACE Bharat Debt, which gives you an opportunity to create or have a debt allocation to your portfolio, which invests in high quality bonds which are backed either by the central or state governments. Again, the minimum investment for the Bharat Debt basket is just 5,000 rupees. So if you look at it across the 3 core iBaskets, we have 6 thematic baskets we have, and 2 debt and ETF baskets we have. The minimum investment ticket size that we've created is just between 5,000, 10,000 to 15,000 rupees, except for the electric vehicles basket, which is available at 1 lakh rupees. We have kept these baskets at such low ticket sizes only because as investors, we want you to take a dip into it once, make sure that you try these baskets for once, and then start with a small capital, and then you can keep expanding your portfolio in depth, right? So at the end of this, we also need to look at what are the features that we have. I spoke about all of these features that come to you with the iBasket. Obviously, the account opening process for our iBaskets is digital. It's within few minutes, your account is going to be opened. Single DP account is made available for the iBaskets or any other investments that you want to make in other stocks. We also have options of SIP and lump sum as well, like I mentioned to you. The opportunity or the aim is to provide exposure to different kind of growth vectors that we spoke about. The baskets again are ranging from 5,000 to 15,000 rupees, right? The investments are directly credited into your demat account as investors, and there is live reporting available for each of these baskets, which is available online through your login ID and password. The benefits of this is of the iBasket is that these are long-term investment strategies for wealth creation over a long term for you. These are designed to achieve specific financial goals. So if you look at creation of a balance between core, thematic, and debt, it matches your various financial goals over a long term. It creates wealth for investors over a long term, like we mentioned. Easy investments in equity with ready-made set of portfolios, so you don't really need to get down to thinking which stock to buy, which stock to sell, when to buy, when to sell. Our professional team of investment managers brings you this opportunity and brings you the capability to manage these portfolios efficiently over a long period of time. And this inculcates a strong financial discipline for you as investors. So this is what we had to present to you from iBasket perspective and the various growth vectors that we spoke about. So here is where I would like to stop my presentation, and I'd like to see if there are any questions that are coming up. And yes, we do see a couple of questions coming up. And yeah, before I take them, if there's anybody who has any questions on any of these growth vectors or any of the baskets that we've invested in or that we've created for you, we're happy to take. Yes, the first question we have is from Vihang Sapale. Yes, Vihangji. Vihangji, you'll have to unmute yourself. Okay. Vihangji, you can unmute yourself. In the meanwhile, we have Nitin ji also who has a question. So Nitin ji, can you please bring up your question, please? You can unmute yourself. Okay, if you are not able to unmute yourself, you can probably put your question. Hello. हाँ नितिन जी, yes.
सर जी, ये आई बास्केट में जो हमारा जो उसमें अगर समझो एक क्लाइंट 10 बास्केट बाय करता है, बरोबर,
राइट,
और 10 से 10 बास्केट का उसको जो 3 मंथ का चार्जेस लगता है ना, उसी जगह पे समझो 10 बास्केट को अगर एक बार लग जाए ना, ऐसा होना चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से।
नहीं, so that is some, sorry,
क्लाइंट की ये हमें कंप्लेन मिली है कि अगर समझो एक क्लाइंट 15-1.5 लाख का अगर 10 बास्केट बाय करता है, बरोबर, तो बोलता है एक साथ में गिना जाए, ऐसा वो बोलता है।
नहीं नितिन जी, आई थिंक ये आपका सजेशन अच्छा है। ये सजेशन हमारे काफी अदर इन्वेस्टर्स और डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर से भी आया है। दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी आर वर्किंग ऑन, और हम इस तरीके से इसको करने वाले कि इन्वेस्टर को अलग से पेमेंट भी ना करना पड़े। इट इज गोइंग टू बी डिडक्टेड डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द पोर्टफोलियो और द बैंक मैंडेट इटसेल्फ। सो इसके ऊपर भी काम चल रहा है हमारा, एंड वेरी सून वी शुड बी एबल टू फिक्स दिस।
उसमें क्या होता है कि अगर समझो एक क्लाइंट समझो 10 बास्केट का ऑर्डर देता है ना, तो 10 बास्केट अलग अलग काउंट हो रहे हैं।
I agree with you, but इसमें ये भी है कि we also need to keep in mind that regulatory aspect से every transaction और every basket has to be reported separately. But ये reporting को हम कैसा और align कर सकते हैं, that is something that we are working on, and we should give you a solution in a very short span of time.
Okay, sir ji, thank you.
Thank you. So we have another question from Ajay Shah ji. Defense sector gave good returns last year. So is it still, does it still have a good amount of potential in the future? So I think Ajay ji, that's a very interesting question जो आप लाए हो. So defense as a sector, अगर आप देखो, is that from a returns perspective, we shouldn't always look at it in the short term. While the portfolio has generated very good returns in the past period of time, we don't look at this sector or this growth vector only from a limited period of time opportunity. जैसे मैंने कहा था, all the growth vectors that we are talking about has a potential of generating returns at least for the next 5, 10, 15 to 25 years. पहले तो ये $73 billion का जो अपना बजट है, वो पूरा भी इंडिया में खर्चा नहीं हो रहा है, but when it starts getting spent completely into India, obviously it is going to give us significant growth. इसके बाद जो exports भी हो रही है इंडिया से, that also is just started. चीजें अभी शुरू हुई है, एंड जैसे एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, ऑब्वियसली द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू क्रिएट वेल्थ इन दिस ग्रोथ वेक्टर इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू बी देयर. बट लाइक आई सेड अर्लियर आल्सो, रिटर्न्स जो है इन पोर्टफोलियोज में या इक्विटी मार्केट में ब्रॉडली भी अगर हम देखें, कभी लीनियर नहीं होने वाला. रिटर्न्स जो हमने लास्ट 6 महीने या 1 साल में देखा है, ये डेफिनेटली अगले 6 महीने 1 साल में आएगा, ये कोई गारंटी नहीं कर सकता है. सो डेफिनेटली ओवर अ 5-year 7-year पीरियड, consistent returns and consistent growth opportunity is available in this sector as well, in this growth vector as well, apart from the other 5 growth vectors that we spoke about. So मैंने लंबा आंसर दिया, but the reality is that अगले 5-7 साल के लिए we do not see a risk in this sector. We see that long term में investment opportunity and wealth creation opportunity काफी significant available है. So Krishnan ji has a question, since India identified lithium resources at Jammu, whether Indian mining companies will benefit out of these growth opportunities. So Krishnan ji, I think you brought up a very relevant point, is that with lithium reserves getting identified and the focus on alternative fuel, definitely, like we spoke about electric vehicles. So electric vehicles as a growth vector does not only capture the electric opportunity, it also captures all the opportunities of alternate fuel. So definitely companies which are into mining, definitely companies which are into creation, which are into manufacturing of all the components that are needed to make sure that the lithium or ethanol or hydrogen or electric components are made available to investors. All the companies are definitely going to benefit out of it. So yes, we believe that we are just at the tip of the iceberg. and we have not even scraped the iceberg. Okay, we have a great opportunity ahead, and isme long term mein we are definitely going to see a fantastic opportunity. So we have another question from Dushan ji. What is the quarterly charge for EV basket? So Dushan ji, the quarterly charge for the EV basket is about 2,400. It's about 2,400 rupees per annum. So it is about 600 rupees a quarter, right? So 15,000 रुपए के basket में the annual charge is about 400 rupees. The 10,000 rupees ke basket mein it's about 240 rupees, and 5,000 basket pay it is about 120 rupees. So it typically works out to be about 2.5% on an annual basis. So I'm quickly gonna wait to see if we are getting any more questions before we sort of wind up the session for today. So Vihangji, I still see you have your hands raised. Do you have any question? Okay, we have Raju Doshi ji. Raju ji. Okay, I think Ajay Shah ji has already asked this question. Vihang ji probably is unable to unmute himself. Nitin ji se already baat ho gayi hai hamari. Anybody else who has any questions, we are happy to take. Otherwise, इसके बारे में हम काफी educational series बना रहे हैं. We are making a lot of short videos, so you can follow us on our social media handles, starting from Facebook, Twitter, Facebook to Instagram to LinkedIn and so on and so forth, where we keep publishing a lot of these videos or educative materials. So you can keep following us on these channels to keep seeing a lot of information about each of these growth opportunities. Can we see basket-wise performance? Definitely, Vihangji. We will share with you the performance of these, baskets. So each of these baskets has an average of 4-year track record, except for electric, जो हमने अभी recently launched किया है. So we will, if you drop in your email ID, we will share with you. And जैसे आप देख रहे हो कि we are sharing our links as well on the chat box. And you can go through our website, you can go through our fact sheets. All of this information is available on our website. And anyways, जब आपने login किया होगा, you would have shared your email ID with us, and we will ensure that we share this presentation as well as the performance with you over your email as well. So Dushanji is saying, please send video also. Please send video also on our WhatsApp group. So yes, Dushanji, we will share this with you definitely. And this session is also being recorded. So if your investors couldn't attend, definitely weekends, everybody has probably better things to do. So definitely these are videos which are getting recorded, and it is going to be available on our YouTube channel as well. And we will share the links with you just after this call. So Vedant ji has another question. Can you give us some idea on the churn rate of these portfolios? So very interesting question, Vedant ji. So typically, if you look at live track record, जो हमारा last 4-4.5 साल से almost सारे baskets में है, we have followed a process of yearly rebalance, and साल में एक बार ही rebalance हम करते हैं इन portfolios का. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि अगर कोई कंपनी में कुछ बुरा हो रहा है, अगर कोई कंपनी में कुछ destructive हो रहा है, हम सोते रहेंगे उसके ऊपर. That is not what we mean, but we typically follow a yearly rebalance. So it is a typically low churn portfolio. It's a buy and hold strategy, and we see that the churn rates on these portfolios are lower than most other portfolios in the country today. I hope that answers your question, Vedantji. Yeah. So I think there are no more questions coming up. So obviously, I believe that a lot of the questions have been answered, and I hope this does give some amount of clarity to you all. Like I said, SIP is one of the most fantastic investment opportunity or investment instrument. So mutual funds में SIP आप लोग सभी लोग कर ही रहे हो, but we also believe that setting up an SIP on equity baskets through iBasket, which is available on investmentz.com platform, is very, very important, and it's a very important component of your portfolio. And this is something that you should have over a long period of time. So we request you to go to our website, reach out to your advisor, or come to us directly, reach out to us, and let us know if you want to get empaneled or if you want to get these baskets set up for you, and we'd be more than happy to go ahead and do this. So ye growth opportunities are extremely mouth-watering and extremely long-term in nature. But again, a very important disclaimer, you need to look at equity investing over a long term. So please keep in mind that you need to look at these investments over a 5 to 6 to 7 year period. Longer the better. But these are opportunities which are going to have continued long-term potential for a very, very long time to come. Right? Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this call over this weekend on this Saturday. And we look forward to hearing back from you. And we look forward to you following us on our social media channels. And obviously, these videos are going to be available on YouTube as well. And we look forward to connecting with you on our next session. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.